Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
Thanks for joining us today, and we're going to get right into it because we're talking about the property. Is it an escalator?
It's an elevator.
Elevator?
It's a rocket ship. It could be a rocket ship.
Sure.
The last thing you want it to be like a sinkhole, like a quicksand, right?
Or a roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Up, down, up, down.
Sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah.
No, but it is. It's called the property ladder, and it's a term used for maybe your expectations if you never owned property before, and your expectations are having like a big house, maybe like your parents did or your grandparents, and expecting sort of that kind of result. And the point is getting into the property market, building equity there, and then moving on up as you pay off your house, and perhaps the market helps you out with some of that equity.
Right. I think to make it real simple, and you're going to expand on this obviously, but I think the whole idea is start somewhere. Right? Don't wait for it to be, when I can buy if you're a first-time home buyer, maybe $1 million home is not your a realistic first starting point, right? If it is, wonderful. But if it's not, maybe it's a 400. If you're in the Victoria area, maybe it's a $400,000 condo, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how I started. Like, get into that condo, and maybe I didn't think about the timing. I just thought like I didn't want to rent anymore.
Right.
Wife had a good job. I had a good job at the time. I wasn't a realtor at the time. And we thought no matter what, we're going to get in. And we bought like the cheapest condo we could find. It wasn't the greatest condo, but it was lots of room. And it totally rewarded us. We were very, very, very well blessed with the market going up at that time.
Yeah.
Many moons ago. And from there, and I didn't realize this. My mortgage broker was saying, hey, don't sell your condo, or don't use your down payment. That's what it was. Don't use your down payment. I was saving up for a car and a down payment at the same time, because the deal was if we buy a new house, I could buy a new car. So, anyhow, we ended up remortgaging using the equity in the condo. So that's money. So that's the difference of money that you've paid off and what the home is worth.
Yeah.
And what's left is equity. And you could borrow, possibly, depending on the parameters that the mortgage broker or company has, that you could borrow some of that money and move it over into a purchase of another property.
Right.
So then we were able to rent that condo out and move up in the market. More space,
sure. Yeah.
Starting a family, those kind of things.
Yeah.
But if we never got into that condo, it would be very difficult to get into the size of home that we're in today.
Yeah, 100%. My first place was in Edmonton. We call them coach homes.
Okay.
But it's basically like a condo / it's more like a townhouse. You have your own front door and everything, but they're stacked two on top of each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
So that was my first place, and then sold it, and with the proceeds ended up buying a house, and and then we sold the house because it was just more upkeep than we wanted.
Right, is it more than you expected? Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because the thing was it was this big lot. It was in Edmonton by the university, and so it was wonderful until you had to cut the grass on that big lot, and you had to shovel all the snow on that big lot, and then it was kind of like, okay.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm pretty busy. You're shoveling snow, not here.
Well, even for that 1 week a year, like I've got a long driveway, so it's and the sidewalk, and then I try to help with the neighbors.
Right.
So it's a lot.
So anyway, we ended up.
I
ended up selling the house. We sold the house and got a brand new townhouse, which was the right fit.
Right. Less outside maintenance, those kind of things. Less to worry about.
Yeah. So, but the same idea is we started somewhere, and I think that's the thing that we're emphasizing and especially because you hear people in this market here anyway, in the greater Victoria area, you hear people in this market wonder, how will my kids ever afford a home? How will my kids ever, get something in this market? Well, I think the other part is encouraging our kids to that, like you said, just start somewhere, right?
Well,
And
that's definitely the point. The disheartening thing is meeting people. We were talking about networking earlier,
Yeah.
and just getting to know new people and running a business. And it mentioned still renting,
Yeah.
and he thought like, well, he'll never be able to get in the market. And I thought like, man, that's so. To me, it feels it. I feel a lot of empathy because that's all I hear is how expensive everything is. But people don't seem to always go and look to see what their options are.
Yeah.
Get informed. What your client that we interviewed, Devin and his
Kevin,
family,
that was to me, that line is going to
Perfect.
stick with me.
perfect example.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, so here's and if you haven't, you can see the video of our interview with Devin. It's up here in the video somewhere.
Yeah,
But
playlist for interviews.
yeah, but we asked, or I think Patrick asked Devin, why did you guys wait so long? Young family, right? I think their son is what, 5, something like that.
Yeah, around that.
Around 4 or 5 years old. They, both him and his wife have good jobs. They had money in the bank. They have good credit. And he said, we just believed what we read on the internet. And it wasn't until we went and talked to the bank and then talked to me that we were able to look at everything and say, no, wait a minute. You're in a very good position. And you get to move into a home and pay less. At that time, I think the mortgage ended up being less than his rent.
Then his rent. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I think at that point, I don't know, but it was a different time in terms of the mortgage rates. But the point being, he didn't think it was possible until they did some digging.
But they were facing eviction, right?
That too.
Their
Yeah,
landlord wanted to move back
was
or whatever.
wanting to. I think their landlord's son was coming back to BC or something like that.
No fault of their own, but
Right.
unless they were forced to look at their options, then they would have never found out.
Yeah, but the thing is, once they did look into things, they found out, hey, guess what? We can actually buy a home. And I loved Devin's line somewhere in there was, we're basically where we want to be. We are in a great community, and we're going to be here for the rest of our lives. And nobody can, for Devin, nobody can say the renter's coming back or the son's coming back and you guys have to move out.
Right. Now they have security.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
and they're building equity, right? Every day. Whether the market goes up or not, if you pay down your mortgage, you're building equity.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want. I would suspect people would take this the way that if somebody is suspicious of realtors, this sounds a little bit self-serving, but there's great benefits to home ownership, like having a secure home, knowing that you're not going to be evicted. It's great for the family unit to having that kind of security where that stress is not over, let's say, a couple's responsibility to the landlord, or having control of your own property and what you like to do with that. So I want to encourage everybody out there, if you don't know what your credit is, go check your credit. And then if it needs improvement, find out what the levels are for credit. If it needs improvement, find out ways to work on that. If you don't have a down payment, start figuring out your budget, because I bet you there's things that are more important. You're prioritizing things over home ownership, and then maybe feeling like home ownership is out of your grasp. But then, you probably expenditures that, you could probably do without. Right. And if you have a good work history already, then take that to the bank and measure what kind of budget you might have in today's interest rate.
Yeah, and I think the thing is just start the process. It does, you're not obligated to anything, but if you at least start the process and start moving in the direction that's going to get you where you want to go, start making some actions and steps to get there. It's just a matter of time that you'll start to then take those steps and you'll start to see traction.
Yeah. And if you have questions, we have tons of resources. feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to help you.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. That's, again, that's pretty simple, but it's the moral of this story, if you will, is start now, start wherever you're at, and start moving the process forward. And before you know it, you're going to be like
You're
Devin.
gonna be a homeowner.
Yeah, you're going to be like Devin, saying we're so happy and blessed, and we're amazed that we're here. So thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Awesome. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.